All right, so I've been working on sanding everything, getting it done, and I've decided to switch gears a little bit. So I'm going to start working on the deck material. So I was originally going to use a composite material, and I actually come up with some aluminum sheeting. So I'm going to cut this aluminum out and weld it to the deck. It'll be a lot stronger. I mean, that other stuff was probably pretty good, but I know how good this stuff will be. So what I've done is I took the deck, I laid it on here, I traced my lines out, and I give myself about a 1/4 inch all the way around. That way it's like I got a little room for error, and then I can come back with a flappy disc grinder and clean it up. So I'm gonna try something I've never done. I'm gonna try plasma cutting aluminum. I read online that you can do that, so we're fixing to find out. I'm gonna do a test strip somewhere before I start getting into the spots where I need the metal. A lot better than expected, because I've never used a plasma cutter on aluminum. I was always scared of it, and that's a fairly new plasma cutter we got. Bought it off Amazon, and I was just trying to figure out how I was going to cut this, and Dad said try the plasma cutter, and so I got on the internet and they said yeah, do it, you'll be fine. And so I tried a little test piece just for a split second, done good, and I was like, okay. So like I said, I give myself about a 1/4 inch all the way around, just to make sure I had enough. So I'll be able to come back and clean up some of that slag and just smooth it in and bring it in. But yeah, that I'm pleased. I'm tickled with how that cut out. So just for future reference for anybody, if you're wanting to cut aluminum and you've got access to a plasma cutter, 100% recommend. It makes your life so much easier and a lot quicker. That took me forever to cut that with all the bends and everything with a regular saw or anything like that. I got the first deck cut out. Everything's good on it. It's just laying there right now. I'll sand it and clean it up, and then I'm gonna take it down and weld it to the main deal. So I'm working on the front one now, and then I'll come back and do this back piece in the very front. So I took the sheet, laid it out, traced kind of what I want, and I give myself a little bit of a gap. You know, I don't want it to be flush up. I give myself some room for error, and then I'll come back, and you know, this side I've got quite a bit more, and I'll trim it back some and kind of get rid of it. But that's where we're at now. So I'll get this centered up and shored up, and then I'll come and clean it up and take it down and weld it. I've got the front cut, fixed, and set in there. It sets perfect. I mean, I couldn't ask for better. So next up, I'm going to start on doing the little piece here, and then I've got a little piece back here I got to do. So get it fixed up, set in there, get it right where I want it, and then I'll take it down and weld the decks together and weld everything up. So that's pretty much got that part handled, and then it'll be finished sanding and then primer. Got half of the back filler finished. I'm having to do another one here. I didn't have enough material to do one solid sheet, so I split it in the middle over a joint, so I have a solid point in between where they'll butt up together. So that's what I'm working on now. I've got to tape and cut this one out and get it in and fit it up and go from there. I had some minor technical difficulties with the plasma cutter when I first started. The head was burnt up. I didn't realize it, and I started to try to cut, and it just wasn't doing it. So I changed the head and put a new one in, and man, it's been bad a long time. Back deck is done. Well, I mean, the deck itself is cut out, and it's ready to be welded together and welded down so that it's a permanent fixture. So I've got it done. I've done that back piece. I had to split it in the middle and make that where it was wide enough for the both. This piece is permanent to the boat. This is the flip up part. So I've got it all ready to go. So next up, sanding it all real good and shiny and going down there and then welding it up. So this part's the part I've been dreading the absolute whole time. This front corner. It is not going to be fun. I really don't have the metal to do it, so I'm going to have to corner cut and see what I can do on making a that square piece more of a triangle. So I don't know what I'll come up with, but I'll figure out something. I've decided to do, I'm gonna get me a piece of cardboard or something that I can make a template of this exact piece. And I believe I've got just enough aluminum sheet to make that there. If I have to, I can cut it here and then make this another separate piece, but I'm trying to make this one solid piece up here. I had a roll of paper, and I took and I made a template out of that paper and laid it in there. And I think it's a little bit larger. I'm going to do it 2 or 3 more times before I mark my lines, but I've got just barely enough sheet left to do that front piece. But I get that done, I got that knocked out and out of the way, so then it'll just be sanding and cleaning up and getting it welded in there and together. So that's where I'm at right now, is just making double sure that that plate, that template, is the right size. All right, so I made the template, I measured the template, I laid it up there, I checked it, done it again, checked it again, and then I took and I drawed it out. So when I was sure I had, you know, this size or bigger, I laid it on the metal. So then after I drawed the metal out, then I started measuring. You know, I picked points like dead center across, and then from the point to the edge and point to the other edge. And I've got about a ½ inch too long here and here and down there and down there. That way I've got room to wiggle, because I mess this up and I'm out of luck. I'll have to go buy another sheet of this, and I don't want to know what the price is, because the price of aluminum right now is through the roof. Of course, that's any material, it's through the roof. So measured 600 times, gonna cut about 650 times, but when I get done, I'm hoping it'll be exactly where I needed it to be. So here goes nothing. All right, we got it cut out, and I'm only concerned a little bit because that edge does not look right. So I'm thinking that's the extra length, I'm hoping. So we're fixing to find out here in just a second what just happened. If everything went good, I measured. The only thing that would mess me up is if I laid my paper on the metal wrong and didn't catch it. So we're fixing to find out if I messed up or if I nailed it. All right, I got the front piece done. It's in and finished, and that was the job. So that took a lot of trimming and cutting, and finally got it where it was right, fit in there good. So I've got that done. So tune in next time to see where we're at on the Lumacraft Super Bandit. I'll see y'all next time.